What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, aka Digadulamite.
Triple bling bling, y'all.
It's back.
And your
I can't
auditory
say Happy New
canals
Year.
are.
Happy New Year, y'all.
No, don't do that.
Oh. And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 270 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. As usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, it's Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Hater,
That's me.
aka the Cat Daddy, aka that gamer stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just happy to be here talking about games. It is our 270th episode. I cannot believe that we've been here for 270 episodes talking about games. That's crazy to me, but I love it. And we are speeding our way into. Oh my God, we're speeding our way into
300.
300. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. Just want to give a couple of announcements that's going on with us right now. We were remiss because we did not tell you all that we are still doing rolling credits. Yes, we are rolling credits. It is happening. We are doing it, and we actually have a winner. And the winner is Crucial Chase. He went through, did it, out here, representing, game winners, game beaters, representing credits, actually going in, doing the extra mile, reading all the credits of all these fantastic games, saying, these games were made by people, and we gotta look at the credits for those people, and even though they put them at the beginning of the games now. But anyway, he did that. So that's probably the reason why he beats all the games. But anyway, we got a final tally for the year of 2023. Crucial Chase.
Four.
Oh my God, it is. We're at. Didn't know where we were at. 2024. Thank you. Crucial Chase beat a total of 8 games, probably more, but he posted credits for 8 games. We have a 3-way tie with number 2, with John BT beating 4 games, Will D beating 4 games, and our very own Kev holding it down for the gaming vessels, but out there beating games. He beat 4 as well, and then tied for last place, we got Jabroni, who beat 1. We love to see it. Thank you, Joe. And our good friend Goonie beating 1 as well. So yes, we'll say thank you so much. And we will be sending you, Chase, yes, you, a $60 gift certificate. So please contact us. Let us know what you want. Probably gonna send you, Steam or whatever, but it'll be a $60 gift card. Also, want to let you guys know that we are doing it. It is officially out. Rolling credits for 2025 is live. We're doing it. I think Crucial Chase already beat a game for the year. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah. So he's already one up and on all of us. So we can't let Crucial Chase win again. The 3 of us can't win anyway. But I'm just saying, Crucial Chase's dominance has got to stop, folks. Let's do this. But other than that, things have been great. I love that the sun is coming back. Daylight savings time is ending, and it's just, I can't wait. So that's all.
You mean standard time?
Yes, we're going back to like regular time or whatever it is, and like the night
daylight savings. Yeah.
Yeah.
When does that start?
It's in 2 months. So I was thinking about it, and so like I get super happy about it because I do not like coming home when it's dark. So I'm done with that. So other than that, yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, and of course, our show's a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on, dude?
It's been a while since we recorded. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff kind of cooking right now. So, Nick got all my components for my PC, and Nick has put it together for me last weekend. And lo and behold, it's still sitting in the box of the case that it came in. It's still because
okay.
I'm trying to hold it down because it's like I'm rearranging two separate areas. I got my office area, which I had my PC at previously, and so my friend Amy helped me pretty much assemble a desk I bought back in the summer of 2024, or 2024. And so it's just like finally got that done, cleaned the carpets in here, and so right now I'm in the middle of trying to get some final setup in here, get the wires all organized, and then start working on getting the new PC hooked up, along with like some other game systems and all that, and another setup in my house. So I'm trying to separate my work PC area and my gaming PC area, because
Smart.
I don't want to be in the same space, like especially for relaxing periods, and my work computer's right there. Of course, Donald J. Trump, our new president, might decide that that whole equation for me is null and void, because I am a federal, government worker, and I might have to go back into the office 5 days a week. Oh boy! So my complex setup to get my office space all ready to go. I added an extra monitor. I have 3 monitors in here, for all my hard work I do for the U.S. government, working for President Trump. And lo and behold, I might have to go back and just keep it real in the office 5 days a week. We'll see what happens, though. So,
have you thought about making one of your spaces potentially a streaming station, like where you could do YouTube or Twitch or something?
Yeah, in fact, that's the setup I'm going to work on after I finish this desk setup in here. Like, I'll probably still record in here. I might record out there. I'm kind of curious about the acoustics. But I definitely talked to Desmond, and I'm thinking about graduating up to the big boys and actually buy a damn boom mic or some sort of mic that would sound a little bit more professional, quote unquote. So we'll see when I cross that bridge, and then buy an actual webcam. I bought a webcam off Walmart, like.
Of course you did.
For $7. It was a $7, HK special, Hong Kong special, and of course. Ooh. I spent all the time like buying extension cables for it to try to get it to connect to my computer. I had duct tape on the damn thing because it was all falling apart, so.
It's pretty bad.
I know. So if I am going to eventually stream, we'll talk about it later on in our main event, but I might have to buy a webcam, hopefully not too high fidelity. You don't want to see all this in high fidelity.
All that goodness.
Maybe some of the older ladies will want to see it, but that's a whole other thing in a nutshell. That's for another application and not for streaming purposes.
Yeah, so. that's Jabroni after dark right there. So we don't need to talk about that.
That's some OnlyFans ish.
No.
Well, hey, I might need to make a little extra money. You never know. I like to go to Japan every so often, so I wouldn't mind going back sooner than that. Oh,
stop it.
No, behold, I think the fans I would find would probably be not apt for what I would want. So no only fans for me. Go. So yes.
Okay. All right, folks. We're going to move on to what is always our first topic on our docket, and that's going to be the playlist. So I think we started with Jabroni last week, so let's kick things off with Des. What you been playing this past couple of weeks, man?
Yeah, aside from crying because I haven't beaten Sea of Stars yet. I'm still on that last boss, and I don't know what it is. I just refuse to go in and end that game. But anyway, that could have been a game I beat. So it'll be that's my quest, is to beat Sea of Stars in 2025. Hold me to it, especially you, Crucial Chase, over here, our dojo master. I've been playing. I don't know why. I need to start playing some new games, folks. I'm starting to turn into Jabroni Chief over there. So I actually dusted off. I don't want to say I dusted off. Like I keep my Switch nice and fresh and clean. But I've been playing the Switch in bed, and I've been playing Darkest Dungeon. The first one. I really enjoy the game, and the game is perfect for the handheld. The sprites are big enough that you can actually see what you're doing, and it's just a fun little game. It's kind of weird to play it right before you go to bed because it's like an Eldritch horror type of thing, but the game's not scary at all. But yeah, I've been really enjoying my runs with it. And it's been fun. I'm really kind of getting into the mechanics and building up the little like manor that you have in order to make your people get better, so they don't get insane and go crazy and die and stuff like that. So I haven't done that yet. No one's died yet, so I'm super happy about that. But a lot of people have gone crazy. So, but just something that happens in the game. So I haven't really put much time into it until now, but my Nintendo Switch catalog is so huge. I have more Nintendo Switch games than I do for. Is that true? Actually, I think my Nintendo and my PlayStation collections are kind of neck and neck at this point. I have never sat down and counted them, but I think I have more physical. I definitely have more physical Nintendo games than I do PlayStation 5 games. So that's just kind of where we're at with that. But that's really the game that's really been taking my time on my Switch. And I kind of want to talk to Joe and say, like, Joe, since we did a month of Xbox, maybe we should do a month of Switch, because I know your Switch has been collecting a little bit of dust lately, buddy, and I think that we should do that, in order to get prepared for the Switch 2's launch. What do you think about that, buddy? A month of Switch. How about that?
I don't know if I want to like hang out in them low res streets or not.
Wow.
Especially after getting a beautiful new gaming PC that I hadn't even like got the wheels off yet. You should look into. Remember we talked last episode. I remember my little excursion to get Steam actually running up and your computer up.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing Steam. There's what is it? There's a game called like Legends of Hammerwatch 2, I think it is, and it's like a pixel Diablo. What people are calling it. And it's
on on Switch too. So, but.
Oh no, I would probably want to play it. I mean, maybe I will play it on Switch. I don't know. I think that'd be a fun little game for us to play. Again, I think I'm gonna have to I want to play the Switch. I'm looking at it. Sorry, I want to play the Steam Deck. I'm looking at it right now. You're gracious enough to erase my computer and then rebuild it and then get Switch working. So I really think that I should at least play that.
Maybe we'll have a Steam Deck night and then we could do a month of Switch. We would do that, or we could have like one set day to play on Steam or something. So.
Well, I do think that's pretty cool, and because maybe we could do like a month of Switch 2. Like maybe that would be a really good way, because I know I'm gonna get one. You're gonna get one. Kevin's still on the fence because if Bayonetta is all choppy, and she's looking like Lara Croft circa 1992, he's not gonna want to play it. So maybe we'll do like a month of Switch 2 to really kind of like sink our like teeth into how the Switch 2 looks, because I mean early impressions or what people are saying about it is it's gonna, in my opinion, it's gonna be like equivalent to the potato, or maybe just a few fractions above it. So maybe it'll be good. But that might be something to think about. So, but we'll see.
Listeners, let us know, because hey, we're here for you too. So
yeah.
I mean, if you want to play Switch, I know I'm not sure. I think John BT is going to probably definitely get one. I don't know about anyone else. So pipe up if you want to play Switch 2 and have a month of Switch 2 after the launch, or if you want to play more games on PC. Now all of us own. God, what's it? Valheim. So
Valheim. I think that ship has sailed, but we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Also, let us know. Just let us know. Also, and if you want to hear us talk about our impressions of the Switch 2, please let us know. Because we definitely go back and give it to you. And one thing that I neglected to put into folks' radar is we have to pour one out for the Xbox. Reason being, unless Joe hasn't done this.
I haven't traded it in yet. No.
You haven't traded in yet? It looks like no one is going to. Once Joe trades his in, I traded in my potato. I no longer have a potato. It's gone. my Xbox Series S is gone. Once it was announced that mostly everything will either come out for the Switch or the PlayStation 5, I kicked it to the curb. So then I shared that I owed Joe some money. So Joe's got his credit and shipped it off, and it's in a farm somewhere upstate. So hopefully it's running around and didn't get shot behind the barn. But
it's in a rescue facility.
it got sent exactly. It got sent to a
I
rescue.
actually I know exactly where it's at right now. So it's at the GameStop location on Brawley and Shaw right now. That's where it's
Okay.
at. So
All right.
usually most trade-ins, especially consoles, they have to hold it for I think 30 days before they can sell it. I believe due to
Okay.
California pawn laws. So it's kicking in the back over there, staying all
Okay.
nice and svelte back there.
Okay.
So.
Well, I hope it's okay. I probably isn't, but whatever. So that's what's going on with that. And the last thing that I've played, and again, I don't know why, Borderlands 3. I started playing Borderlands 3 again, and again, I think the reason why was because I really was feeling the announcement for Borderlands 4. So I really was like, hey, let me try this out. I never beat the game. I kind of want to beat the game. I don't know why. I never seem to beat any of these Gearbox games. I get super far in them. Same thing with Tiny Tina's. But I don't know. We'll see where we land with Borderlands. Maybe I'll actually beat it and that'll be part of my rolling credits. I doubt it, but hey, let's see. Let's wait and see. So, but that's all that I've been playing. So, Joe, what have you been playing, buddy?
Well, I've been playing Borderlands 3 with you the last few nights. We played it
Yeah.
last night and earlier on in this past week. So good to go back to that game. It's a game I kind of quit in about midway. Like I kind of fell off and I went on to other things. But it looked and felt great to me. I mean, I enjoyed Tiny Tina. I mean, Tiny Tina was up there for me, and that's another game I need to go back and complete as well. So I'm looking eager. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to compare it to Borderlands 2 anymore. It is its own separate thing. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to dig into the DLC because the DLC, technically, I've heard is better than even the main campaign for Borderlands 3. So as far as other games I've been playing since we last recorded, still enjoying EDF World Brothers quite a bit. So I'm still like kind of making my way through the various missions on here. I'm up to like level, I think, 42 on there. And I've gotten so into it that I've created separate teams. I have given them separate team names. And, I've been trying to raise different teams as far as getting their levels up and so on and so forth. Usually I always incorporate one melee character into the team of 4. I usually have one wing diver because I want to be able to go around the map okay, and then 2 other characters as well. Usually I try to pick as powerful as I can as far as guns and that kind of thing on there. So it just depends. I got some characters with missile launchers and rocket launchers and assault rifles and you name it. I mean, pretty much I've gotten into it, so I've kind of renamed each group based on the icon, because you could select like a sticker icon in the background for the team. And so like one team is like the Oni Chambara team because it's incorporating like a couple of characters from Oni Chambara. And then like, one group is called Iron Fist on here because there's an Iron Fist logo.
Okay,
so,
I love it.
So that's how deep in the minutia I've kind of gotten with EDF World Brothers. And I've been kind of making my way. And I actually have been trying to beat each level on both easy, normal, and then hard as well. So why it's taking me so long. I think if I just selected normal and try to beat the entirety of the campaign, probably would have an easier time. But I'm just kind of enjoying it. It's like my game I throw on before I go to bed, or if I want to just like chill and stop thinking about real life on there. So still playing Wayfinder. I know Dez hasn't played in the last couple of weeks, but pretty much have taken every character class and kind of given each character that I opened up some love on there. So I was going in and basically just kind of getting used to like the main character, all the characters like main weapon type, and going in and actually, because if you're playing that game true to true, that you could actually switch from character to character no problem on there, and because you're given points for each character as far as on the tree, as far as being able to put stat bonuses and whatnot, that I'm kind of finding that I want to at least know what each character does, how they play, and so on and so forth on there. I tend to more like melee characters or like tanks, and so that's what I like to play. But it was kind of good to see the appreciation for each different character type. So on there, have you have any intention to go back to play Wayfinder, Des? I mean, I know you
Yes.
kind of okay.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm sorry. I like to play different games. I'm gonna go
Oh, I
back to
know.
Wayfinder. We remember last night when we were playing. We were talking to Kevin. I was like, Kev, this is the game to play. We'll play with you. This is great. So yes, I definitely want to go back to play Wayfinder. It's definitely a game that I think needs more love from the community. So definitely we'll be there. We'll be there.
On its way to Xbox too, so it's supposed to be out for Xbox this month. So
That's great.
I'm not sure if it's gonna hit Game Pass or not.
I mean, I don't know why you're telling me this. I don't care. But
okay. Well, there might be a possibility of more people playing. You gotta go have that crossplay.
Yeah,
So
perfect, fantastic. I'll be playing it on Xbox, so
I know.
miss me.
Well,
All that.
everything is an Xbox. Come on. That's why I'm getting rid of the Series X, because I have all the Xbox I ever would want on my personal gaming computer. So
More power to you, buddy.
know it. And I was telling you guys, it's like I don't know if I should get rid of it. I have a ton of games I want to play on Xbox. I came to realize that most of the games I want to play on Xbox are Xbox 360 games. So it's like, hey, guess what? I still have a 360 in my closet. I can play all the Xbox 360 games I ever would want. So there you go. So.
Are they part of the backwards compatible program?
As far as I actually have discs.
Like running your physical disc, because I think
I have running a physical disc. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have to be in the programming before they run.
Oh, on the Xbox 360?
On the Series X.
Oh yeah, no, I had a few games that it's in my backlog I wanted to play, like Final Fantasy 13 was a game I was thinking about playing at some point. Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey. So I actually never beat Blue Dragon. So, but they're all the games I was thinking about playing were all in the back catalog.
Okay.
But to me, it's like I shouldn't keep a Series X around just to play those games. I could play them on a 360, no problem. So.
Well, your Series X will last longer than your 360 will.
I know.
That thing was pieced together with paper mache.
I got one of the later. I got the one of the later 360 renditions. I had the Red Ring of Death as well. So I pretty much the one I still have in my collection is the what they call an Xbox 360S version. So it's like the later version, the black one. So it's still kicking. But also what's still kicking is I've been playing Journey to the Savage Planet quite a bit. So. I actually got into that game on the request of John BT. So I mentioned on last episode and talked about it. And we started playing co-op, and we've pretty much are about halfway through the actual campaign playing entirely co-op.
That's great.
Together. So I've loved the fact that that game kind of opens up for me at least a little bit. And I actually went ahead and I started playing it like outside of our co-op campaign. Playing it single player as well, and so
how could you?
I know how could I, but yes, it's like gives me a little bit more time to appreciate the game, because when we play multiplayer, it's more just like getting up to the next point. But playing single player, I could take a little bit more chance to go through the environment, scan stuff, and just make more discoveries and that kind of thing. So I'm kind of enjoying the back and forth gameplay. That's the game that I think I want to beat with John BT together, and we could put that onto rolling credits as far as a cooperative win for that. So definitely we'll put that down on there. But gameplay is great. I mean, it's I can't wait for the new game coming out later on this year, the kind of pseudo sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet. So it's going to be a good time. I think that game comes out in May, so I can't wait to dig my teeth into that. So, but all of that business, behold, that's what I've been up to the last couple weeks since we recorded. So, Kev, what you been up to? What you been playing?
So for me, I've been playing a little bit more than prior episodes. So first up, I'm going to talk about is the first Berserker Kazan demo. This game is fantastic. It is not for the faint of heart because it will treat you like a 100-pound inmate in a maximum security prison. Them bosses are no joke,
That's
but it is honest. It forces you to master the mechanics of the game. So from what I played, it really doesn't have a combo structure, or maybe it does, that maybe kind of fleshes out a little bit later in the ability tree, but it's basically all about strikes. So you have light strikes, which I guess you can technically, I guess you could say that they're combos. And then you have heavy strikes that can break shields and break posture. And then you have, I guess, what you would call enders, or I think they call them enders. So once you break an enemy's posture, rather, it's not their posture. I'm getting that. That's Sekiro language, but it's basically the same thing. Once you break their stamina gauge, they become dazed, and then you can perform an ender, which is a critical hit, takes off a massive amount of health. And man, this game is just so good. It flows nicely. Although you deal with multiple enemies at a time, you might be fighting a pack of wolves, you might be fighting a pack of, I guess I don't know if you're, because this all takes place in the what's that, Dungeon Master universe. So I don't know what that lore
DNF,
is.
right?
That DN, I don't know what that DNF
Dungeon-
lore is like. Dungeon whatever.
Dungeon Fighter Online.
Dungeon Fighter. So I don't know what that lore is like, but it seems that you're fighting kind of like a cross between Vikings and knights. That's what they look like to me anyway. You've been framed for going against the king, or plots to overthrow the kingdom. And it looks like you've been beaten up to half dead. They're hauling you away, and some demon breaks you out because it needs your body in order to exact its revenge. So, man, this game is super good. The demo itself ends when you I don't know if I don't think it's really a spoiler, because
Probably
it's
not.
kind of, you fight the demon that's trying to take you over, and once you beat it, you come to an agreement that you decide that you will help it overthrow its realm's new master if it helps you get your revenge. And that's where the demo ends. Your status will carry over to the final game when it releases. Graphically, it's very impressive. It is very much a Souls-like game. Rest points are there. You use the rest points, enemies respawn, that kind of thing. There is a stamina gauge, which is normally like drinking ipecac oil to me when it comes to action games. But in this game, your stamina bar isn't, at least so far, to the point where to the point where I completed the demo, the stamina bar was not a barrier to the fun that I had with the game. Graphics, I said, were impressive. Frame rate's a solid 60, at least on console. And it's just great. I have no complaints, and it's going to be on my list for game of the year. I have a feeling before it's all said and done, because it just plays so well. So wrapped that up. By the way, that last boss took me 3 hours to beat.
Ooh. But it was a
And
good, but it felt good though, right?
yeah, it did. It did. I'm a masochist when it comes to this stuff, you
Oh,
know.
fair.
So, uh, but again, you have to know the tells. You have to understand those hints that the end boss does, like feints and fakes, but they're all part of a combo structure that he has. So you have to get familiar with his feints and with his how he tries to juke you out. And once you do, it's a wrap. He has two phases. Once you get him into the second phase, he starts taking on the abilities of other high ranking enemies that you defeated, and it's oh, it's just really really good.
Well,
So inspired from that, I went in and dug into my backlog, and I started over with Wolong, or Wulong, I believe it's called. And I had forgotten how good that game was. I got distracted by other bright and shinies that came out roughly around the same time as Wulong did. So I wound up just screw it. I'll just start over and continue. Game is hard, but I don't think it's as hard as first Berserker, because I was able to kind of chomp through that first boss and go on to the second part of that game without too much hassle. I think that first boss it took me through about 3 times to beat, and the reason why it took me 3 times was because I wasn't smart with my attacks. I would be caught in the middle of an attack animation, and I get walloped for it. So I was being a little bit overzealous in my attack patterns on him. But the neat thing about Wolong is that once you understand the attack patterns, fights end very quickly, like really quick. You will get an enemy, or like a high ranking enemy or a boss, into a staggered position, and be able to do a critical attack on it like real quick. Because once I that third time, shoot, I went through that boss's 2 phases like nothing. It really looks, it kind of looks like a kung fu theater. Once you get into the flow of Wolong, it's very good. So I'm going to be messing with that for a while. And then I jumped into Dynasty Warriors Origins, and I'm not very far. I'm getting ready to take on the Yellow Turbans. Very familiar enemy if you played any of the Dynasty Warriors games. And graphically, it's the best this series has ever looked. Play mechanics, I'm going to say they have thrown. They're not mechanics that you wouldn't find in any other beat 'em up, but I think they are going to be implemented in a way, in some aspects, they're going to kind of be new to the series. If you played the demo at all, you can assign certain skills to the main character, who is he's the wanderer. He has no name. He's kind of like this blank slate. So I guess you can imagine him to be whoever. You can't make changes to the character himself from a physical perspective, but you're kind of like in the middle of it, but you're kind of a background character, if that makes sense. because like the story revolves around these NPCs that you come across that are these bigger than life characters. If you've played, about Lubu and a couple of the other guys. So it's all really about them and not so much about you, but you're at the forefront of everything. Like when you meet the first your first, well, you're technically he's going to be your second and third allies, because you meet your first ally actually assisting the yellow turban people who are trying just to get food for the starving citizens by dealing with a evil overlord. It's funny when you run into that dude again. He's like telling his brother, it's like, yeah, this is that dude that I was telling you about. I'm paraphrasing, of course. This is that dude I was telling you about, who has this great fighting skills. And, and the main character is like, well, you only mentioned him once, like at some feast that we had, I don't know how many, like 6 months ago, and he never mentioned him again. So they kind of go like go that extra mile to make you as the player aware that you are not the star of the show. It is the NPCs, but the real star of the show probably, I think, is the combat. It's the same, tap square, tap triangle combo structure, but it really looks good this time around. And playing on the PS5 Pro, I'm using performance, so I'm going to say it looks like it's 60 frames per second. I didn't notice any hitches, any glitches, anything like that. Pretty buttery smooth as far as I'm concerned. Tons of enemies on screen. Confronting, of course, you confront your the key enemies on the battlefield, go after them, take them out to take over a territory. Usual Dynasty Warrior stuff. But just another excellent action game that I think folks are even if you've never played Dynasty Warriors before, I think it's worth checking out myself. If you are an action fan, I think this game is definitely worth to at least check out the demo. If nothing else, you can't go wrong with that. So that is what I have been playing this past couple of weeks. So I'm going to go into the new section. I mentioned this the last time we recorded. I have a Ken Hank 12 terabyte retro drive attached to my little mini PC that has just about every video game that you're going to want to play. And every week I want to try and kind of highlight one game that kind of stood out to me. And this week, it is a game called B-Rap Boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So B-Rap Boy, I was scrolling through the through the interface. I use the Hyperspin, and I came across this title, and it looked very familiar. It reminded me of DJ Boy, and there's a reason for that, because this game, in my little research on it, is made by the same company. So if you can imagine, what was it? Boy bands from the 90s. So we're talking about
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys. You're talking about, the Funky Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. You're talking about all these, these 90s, New Kids on the Block, them kind of folk. So if you took them and the Beastie Boys too, because there's one of these characters that looks suspiciously like Mike D. if you
funny.
put them and dump them into a crisper with a little bit of MC Hammer, because there's a black dude in there too, and they all do the MC Hammer, big baggy pants thing.
Yeesh.
And you dump them into a crisper, you would have the 4 characters that you could use in Beat Rap Boys. So this game is a direct sequel of DJ Boy. And it was funny in my research. When I say research, it's just like Google and going to like the first thing that came up. It
That counts.
seems legit. It is the direct sequel to DJ Boy, and its biggest kudo seems to be that it's not as racist as the first DJ Boy.
Huh.
Yeah, but don't worry, folks. DJ Boy is on this thing, and I will play it, and I will give you a review because I'm not so sure about that. B-Rap kind of makes fun of everybody. Like it has, and one thing for sure, it has a character that they ripped straight from Tato's Kageki. If anybody has ever played that game. Like there's like this sumo type dude that you have to beat up, and it's like they pulled his sprite straight from that game. And this game was made by Kaneko, and Kageki is a Taito game, I believe. So I don't know what that comes from, but as far as being, maybe it's a little less racist. But one thing I did notice, that if you take too long in progressing, because this is a side scroller beat 'em up, I guess maybe you could call it a skate 'em up or a bike 'em up, because you're on skates all the time, like roller skates.
That's awesome.
And as you go through beating people up, you come across like skateboards and scooters and bicycles. Now the character, the player one, the Mike D wannabe that I was using, his mode of transportation is the bicycle. So you hop on the bicycle, and the whole idea of this game is you have to get to this dude who looks suspiciously like Triple H from the Attitude Era. And what's funny, when the game starts, you see this dude come out, obvious, looking like old school Triple H, and he says something like, "Yeah, girls want to do me, guys want to be me, come get it." I mean, it is just words to that effect. It's
still
crazy. Yeah.
Word to your mother.
And so he's the bad guy that you got to beat. I finished the game. You get to him, you beat him up, and you become like, you just become number one. And all it does is, as it rolls credits, it shows all four player characters doing the MC Hammer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just seems amazing.
Yeah, but okay, the soundtrack is apparently by this early 90s, what they're calling a hip hop conglomerate called 3 Stories High, and it's just a few verses from 2 of their songs. So instead of trying to describe it, I'm just going to let some of these bars fly here. So listeners, just kind of, this is what you're dealing with B-Rap Boys here. My day begins. I hear the car ring and I start to grin. Thanks the Lord for another day. Get out of bed and I'm on my way. This is just for a starter. Got some more to make the body harder. Walk to the yard and start the water. Let me get the ring. I'm back to the So hopefully.
Love it. Love it.
And you hear that time and time and time again, and it literally, sometimes it breaks like in the first couple of words, it'll restart, and it'll start, and you might get the whole song depending on how long that section is. It'll stop, then you start another section, and it'll be a different song. and it'll restart. It'll go back to that to what I just played. When they said that this game was a little bit less racist, I'm not so sure about that, because if you take too long, there is a Rastafarian Negro holding on to a balloon who
What?
throws watermelon bombs at you.
I'm at a loss for words with that one, Jeff. Okay.
You give me crap for playing World Brothers. Come on, give me a break over here.
I mean, yikes. Okay.
So again, this is not an excuse, because this was apparently it's like Super DJ Boy, which was on the Mega Drive, and the arcade variant of that first game is even worse than that.
Wow.
I'm going to have to find that. I'm going to have to see that for myself. So that is coming at a future.
Yikes. Yikes. Okay. Super DJ Jabroni over here. I'd play that game.
I mean, is B-Rap Boys good? I wouldn't call it good. Like the hit boxes and hurt boxes are all, it's like somebody just threw a dart at a dartboard and said, okay, let's make this punch hit you here, and let's make your kick hit you there. They just don't make any sense. Like you'll be within range of hitting somebody, and the sprites are connecting, but sometimes they just have no effect.
Yeah, just like, nope.
Yeah. So this game, I think, was just designed to be just a quarter sucker. It's not going to, I don't think this game is not going to set the world on fire when it comes to side-scrolling beat 'em ups, but it's funny. The marketing material for the U.S. Version of this game, and apparently, it was only in the arcades, says rappers go wild to the latest rap sound. So it
sounds good to me.
It sounds like it was just, hey, what's this hippity hop stuff that all these kids are listening to?
Yeah, let's get some of that.
Yeah.
The hippity hoppity kids. I love it.
Hey there, Negro children. What is it that you were?
What is this DJs you like? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh, there is a lot of yo in this game too. Yes, for sure. You will hear yo multiple times.
Yeah.
Out this game.
I'm good.
So that's gonna be this episode of Showdove's Retro Recon. I'll be back next episode with something hopefully just as entertaining.
Well, that
hopefully much better as far as the game is concerned.
Yeesh.
So with that said, we're gonna move on to our next section. We got our main event coming at you. All right, Dez, you got it, man. You got the mic, bro.
All right, everybody. Coming back to Earth. Back to the 2000s, not from the 80s with B-Rap Boys. We're gonna talk about our main event. And last time we spoke, I had asked our listeners to give us some questions that they would like us to answer, or to have other people within our community answer. And the folks, y'all did not disappoint. So we have brought the questions to every episode. Now it's your turn. Ask us any game related questions, and we will answer them on the show. So lay it on us and we'll discuss. So our first one comes from longtime listener, friend of the show, Neon Octo, who says, aside from your weekly game nights, would you guys be interested in doing a weekly/monthly live stream of any games you're going to play together? And this is a very interesting that you said that, Neon Octo, is we were thinking about that, and we're thinking about actually playing games as a group, and then possibly doing a stream, whether it's live or not really sure, because all of our schedules are very different. But if we are available on, say, like a Saturday night or something like that, and we're not super busy, Joe, you got to understand it. Joe has a very active social life. So he's out there doing stuff, seeing movies. He's really getting the most out of his AMC, what is it, 99 Cent Club. So he's out there living his best life. And I don't know if we really want to take that away from him. So.
Oh, stop being sarcastic there, sir.
But
Cut the crap there, sir.
Cut the crap. No, so basically, yes, I think that we would want to do it. It'll probably be just our voices, and you guys can hear us, talking ish about each other and having fun, and Kevin just laughing hysterically. But yes, we definitely think that would be a great idea. We would love to do something like that. We're gonna talk to each other and then plan it to see if we can do that with the three of us and see what games best will suit us. And maybe it'll be for 2 hours, of us playing a game, giving our impressions of it, or just hanging around and bullshitting. And if you guys want to see that, totally fine. But then we also wanted to say, we would love to have you all join us and actually have a scheduled, session, a game session where we can live stream. And have it be like Gaming Vessels, and the community. Some of the games that we had thought about doing would be Baldur's Gate 3. And these would be more long form games where we would actually set a session and we say like, for this one we're gonna play with like Neon Octo, and it'll be me and Joe and then someone else from the community, and then the four of us would just play this game for like, have a designated time, and then we'd play the game. For like a couple of weeks or till we got bored, or, and who knows, people might love the interaction. Who knows? One that's definitely coming up is Monster Hunter Wilds. When that drops, we're definitely going to be playing that as a group. So that might be a great time to launch this, kind of new weekly, monthly live stream with the community during Monster Hunter Wilds. So that definitely would be possibly a good time. Let us know if that you think that would be really cool. Also, we could play some older games that came out last year, which would be like EDF6, which is just hilarious. If you've never played EDF6, it's fantastic. And if you play it with friends, it's even crazier because you can blow each other up and stuff. So anyway, we can also play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. That was another game that we were all very on our heads to play. And that's another one that we can play as a group that's out now. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg of games that we can play with our fans. With our community. I don't think you guys are our fans. You're just kind of like our friends. So we could definitely play that with you all. But you got to let us know what you want to play. That's the main thing about it. Number one, what do you want to play? And then, like, when do you want to play them? What's a free time? That we can kind of get at least one of us, playing along with you. That way we can stream. And then the one that the three of us do for a game might be Wayfinder, might be a Monster Hunter Wilds, might be something else. We can also do as well. So yes, there's a lot of moving parts to doing live streams. And I know Joe was working on setting up his computer, his new computer, to possibly do that. So maybe he will take charge with that and then post it on our YouTube channel. Yes, we do have a YouTube channel, so we'll post it on there, or we can stream on YouTube with a Twitch connection. So there's all different ways that you can do this. And if you out there want to help us, reach out, give us your best practices. I know Chase has streamed before. I know Ace Black streams. Let us know. You guys, y'all are people who have been doing this, living this lifestyle. Help us, to be cool, just like y'all are. So, and a couple of upcoming games that we could play together would be Borderlands 4, Crimson Desert, tons of stuff that are out there. So I've spoken a lot. I'm going to take it over to Kev and say, Kev, what are your thoughts about doing this? And what are some games that you possibly would love to play, multiplayer games that you love to play with the community?
I'm gonna say I think that sounds pretty cool. I I don't know if I would need would that mean that we would all have to get like Elgatos or
No,
something?
nope. Only one person would have to get an Elgato. One person would have to get, to my knowledge, one person would have to have the actual recording software. One
Mm.
person would, and then that person would then, we would all like connect to that person, and then they would stream from their computer or their place, and we would just kind of like all sign in on that. Again, this is my limited knowledge of that. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments or on our Discord. But to my knowledge, only one person needs to have the Elgato. But
Okay.
they're relatively cheap right now. And if you watch a lot of people, a lot of streamers give discounts for them on their pages. So yeah, there's also that.
Mm. Now, do those work on console? Because
Yes.
I don't know anything about it because
Yes. I think
I
they work on
haven't
console.
I don't even know if my PC would even turn on if I plugged it back in.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking
Uh,
Joe would be a really good thing for this.
okay. So yeah, as long as it could be something that can be done through console, um,
Yeah.
I'd be cool with it. I mean, yeah, yeah. And as far as the games, well, I'll definitely be playing Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't have BG3, but I've got the rest of them, EDF and Grand Blue. So if it's one of those four, I don't really have a problem. Uh, I mean, like, I ain't playing Call of Duty.
No.
I'm just gonna be like 100%. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't playing Call of Duty. I ain't playing Marvel Rivals, and I ain't playing any one of those. Uh, I ain't playing Valheimish like games. I just can't do those. So
Yeah. You know
as long
yourself.
as it's not, yeah, as long as it's if it's not now that by no means limit our listeners. Don't just just because I ain't playing it doesn't mean that you can't not want to see those games be played. I'm just saying, like what is it? Like Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. And when it comes to gaming, those are mine. So anything else goes, except for like I said, those
Survival type game.
those barriers of entry that I mentioned before. Everything else, I'm pretty much golden with.
Cool. How about you, Joe?
I'm open for whatever. I'm always as long as I got the time. It's the point. If I pick a particular time, maybe on a weekend night, to have a game night going live on Twitch and on YouTube,
Mhm.
I think it would be a good thing. I mean, it's the point that we're here, because we enjoy and we love games. We do this out of our enthusiasm towards games, and so this is another way for me to be able to reflect that enthusiasm as a group, to be able to play with all y'all, and then maybe even setting some more time aside to play games, and to me, multiplayer has always been like the end all be all for me, at least. I remember all the years we played Monster Hunter and Destiny and other games of that ilk, even back in the day for me playing Fantasy Star Online, so
Oh yeah,
you
I
know
remember playing that with you as well. So
yeah.
yeah.
I'd be even tempted, even though I know that there's servers out there that Fantasy Star Online Blue Burst still exist on the PC, and there's people out there running servers as we speak, and that game's abandonware. So basically, it's a point that there's no, barrier to entry for that. So, but I'm open for whatever. So, I will have to research a little bit to see if I need to buy an Elgato or if we could kind of exist using the share button on PlayStation, doing it that way, but we'll have to kind of figure things out and kind of take it from there. But it's something that we're open to for sure. So
Yes, and I want to say thank you, Neon Octo, for letting us know and asking us this question, because it is something that we have thought about, and it is something that we are definitely interested in. We just didn't know, one, if y'all would be interested in it, because the only times that we've ever done it, was with other people who have kind of like hosted us. So we've done it before with Crucial Chase, we've done it before with Ace Black, but we never really took it upon ourselves to do an official sort of, gaming vessels one. So
Yeah, it might help too, as far as, because I know we've had in the past where we had watch parties and we're watching like certain events like Game Awards and
oh yeah,
like Gamescom and that kind of thing, to where I know one episode we attempted to do some running commentary with the event as it was happening on there. I know that it would be great for us to get together and watch something together and then put it up on Twitch or YouTube. So
yeah,
it might be a thing to do as well. So
yeah. So just definitely let us know. We're here. We're excited for it. We think that it would be a lot of fun to do it with all y'all. So just like we said, let us know and let's get on with it. So thank you. Thank you, Neon Octo, for that. We really appreciate it. And we have a couple more episodes. We're going to be talking about some more stuff that folks have given us, some more questions that folks have given us. That way you guys can, kind of hear about what we have to say and
keep it coming in. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this rolling for at least a few episodes, right,
yeah,
Des, before we decide to go back to the normal format. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, we just want you to hear like us old heads talking about stuff. Like we want to hear what you want to hear about us, and and also what you're all doing. So definitely let us know. Having said all of that, what follows me. It's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thank you, Des.
You're welcome, sir.
So it's been a minute since we recorded. It's been a minute because we're going to talk about the Switch 2 announcement. So even though it's been a bit of time since Nintendo has unveiled the Switch 2, this happened like literally I think the Thursday after we recorded last, which would have been like on the 9th of January. But they finally had unveiled with a trailer with no narration, mind you, just showing the Nintendo Switch kind of transforming into the Nintendo Switch 2. But all the leaks pretty much kind of confirmed everything, what was shown in the trailer. So we got to see a larger screen. We got to see Joy-Cons that connected magnetically to the screen on there versus being done with like a wire, or not wire, but like a rail. The Switch one has rails. So it also showed the Joy-Cons moving across the surface as a mouse. So it appears both of them have that. There's also an additional button, what people are kind of labeling as the C button, kind of bringing back memories of the GameCube controller on there, on the Joy-Con, on the right Joy-Con, that is. And also showed off the new stand a little bit too as well. So the new stand is pretty much black, but it has rounded edges where it docks in. So and then they did manage to show a new game in the trailer, which happens to be the next Mario Kart. There's no name for it yet, but I'm assuming everyone's calling it Mario Kart 9. We'll see if there's any sort of unveiling of that, if that's the actual official name for the new Mario Kart. People was kind of eagle-eyeing, kind of spitballing on the images that were shown on there. Of course, a lot of people were commenting the fact that the graphics didn't look too well, but you're talking about a 1080p stream, so it's not like you're not going to see everything running in real time or anything like that. But according to what people have noticed on the Mario Kart next Switch 2 demo that got shown during this presentation, there was 24 spots for the carts on each race, as far as
I noticed that too.
Starting line. So pretty much, yeah, there's going to, even though I know some people were debating, okay, are they going to make this like a like when the PlayStation 5 came out and when the Xbox Series X and S, where they're going to make some games basically like multi-generational, like cross-gen I'm thinking Nintendo's not even going to play with encountering this. Why would they bring out the new Mario Kart and say it's also playable on Switch 1? I think they're going to lead their audience to the new hardware. Because, Mario Kart's going to have its own legs. It's going to, if it doesn't sell a ton of copies immediately, because if there's a shortage on Switch 2, I think eventually it will make gangbuster numbers if need be. So, and I'm hoping Nintendo doesn't bring a lot of cross-gen software out. I'm hoping they draw the line because, we talked about ad nauseum on this very podcast where we kind of felt the capabilities of the Switch for the last few years are very, very lacking out that. Age of Calamity, Bayonetta 3, Bayonetta 2, you name it. There's a way for the Switch not to properly run their particular software, and it's been that way for quite a while now. So taking it all in, Kev, what's your overall feelings about the Switch 2 as it stands right now?
So I agree wholeheartedly with you with those statements that you just said, that they make a clean break from Switch 1. I honestly don't believe they will, because as their customer base has proven, they don't care about none of that stuff. They don't care about performance. They don't care about graphics. They don't care about, let's be honest, the Switch runs off of a chipset that you could pull out of a Cracker Jack box for all intents and purposes. But it's the biggest selling console out right now. It's close to usurping the PS2 in consoles sold. I don't think they're going to leave those folks behind. They will eventually, but I think that first wave of software that comes out for the Switch 2 is going to be cross generational. I think they just see that as money left on the table, that they're not willing to let slide by. I think that first wave of software is probably going to be running as well, running on the Switch 2. On the original console. Because in my mind, it's like, this is Nintendo we're talking about. Yeah. And like every company, they love money. So they are more than happy to resell you those games that you bought on the original Switch. So get ready for Super Mario Odyssey remastered. And again, the reason it's the same thing it's the same thing on PlayStation. These remasters pull in people that did not have the console before. So there is a built-in that you've got a user base, because I can't remember what the report was for the PlayStation, but it was something like almost 30% of PS5 owners did not have a PS4. It's something crazy like that. In their, I guess, one of their earnings calls from, I guess, either 2024 or 2023, I can't remember which. But those people who never had that prior console now have a whole library of games that they can get for this new console. And to us, it's like, why are y'all rehashing? That's like walking the same trail 300 times. It's like, why y'all rehashing the same trail? Well, they ain't worried about us because they already got us. They're trying to get these other folks,
yep,
who in their business models have revealed that, hey, these guys never had that console before. And if this thing comes in at the price point that it's suspected, little Timmy coming to mom and dad asking for $500 for a Nintendo product, that might be a bitter pill to swallow. That pill will be swallowed, but I'm thinking the mindset of parents, that most parents who are not gamers think of Nintendo as like a toy company. And little Timmy's coming up, hey mom, I want the Switch 2. And Daddy goes into GameStop and he sees a $450 or a $500 price point, and it's like, what? No, you getting this Switch One. You getting this original Switch, or you're just going to have to live with the Switch you got. And so I think Nintendo probably has an understanding of that far better than how I described it, and they're not going to want to leave that money on the table.
I agree.
That was our first wave.
I agree 100%. I think that they're going to try to hit it hard and say like, oh, we can do this, and then they're slowly going to kind of phase it out, because they've already done this with other things, like with the DS and the 3DS, with the Wii and the Wii U. These are all things that they've done. I think the only thing that they've ever done anything where they left everyone in the dust was when they did the 64. And I think that was a critical turning point when they were like, oh, we're leaving too much, like all those are dead. We need to like keep people for a little while longer. And I think that's probably why they decided to do that. But again, I'm not an insider. I don't know these things. We're just, talking. So hopefully, we're right, because that'd be kind of hilarious if we were. I'd be like,
oh, we can make calculated, estimates. It's not like, I wouldn't say we're like deep experts, but
definitely not.
We have enough to kind of get an idea how things are going to roll and how we want them to roll, possibly. Mm-hmm. So, and as far as software is concerned, there's a lot of companies kind of licking their lips right now. Phil Spencer went on a Gamertag Radio and pretty much said that Xbox will support Switch 2. He stated that he formally went and congratulated Nintendo's president on there once they unveiled the Switch, and I guess he was exchanging emails with Furukawa-san, the CEO of Nintendo. He gave him a big congrats and said, "My old eyes appreciate the larger screen" on there. So,
yikes.
So, and basically that they said that they're bringing their full slate of software for the Nintendo Switch 2 on there. So, I mean, they are going to support Nintendo with games on here. So currently right now, as far as all the titles that have been rumored, basically we've heard Metaphor ReFantazio, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Most of Ubisoft's library on there. So, I mean, imagine everything like Division 2 on the go. Rainbow Six Siege, that they're currently, according to the rumors, working on a half dozen games for the Switch 2. So we'll have to see if there's some new IP out of that or not. It'd be, if they somehow created a new Immortal Phoenix Rising game.
That game that series is dead. Yeah. I mean, I would love for them to do it, but no, they're not going to do that.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid Delta is also rumored right now. As far as Microsoft is concerned, Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to make the jump. Hopefully won't choke up that Switch 2. Halo Master Chief Collection. I've also saw rumors about Gears of War Collection, the collection of Gears games. Gears of War Ultimate, the first game, also coming to PlayStation and Switch 2. So rumors of Fallout 4 making the jump. Really? Tekken 8, FIFA, Red Dead Redemption 2, and basically, I mean, Elden Ring possibly, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, and then also rumors dictating Titanfall 2, Cyberpunk 2077.
What?
GTA 5. There's enhanced versions of both Breath of the Wild and also another Metroid Prime 4 Switch port on there for the Switch 2. Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth, with Remake coming out in 2025 and Rebirth coming out in 2026. Monster Hunter Wilds, more Resident Evil ports, Evil games, Alan Wake 2, and then that's just the start. So, I mean, I'm thinking because of the fact that the PlayStation 5 hasn't done particularly well in Japan, that Switch is big. I mean, when me and Des were there twice, basically that Switch kind of rolled the roost at most retail outlets.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that, I think on the Japanese side, these ports are going to occur because they want to make a little bit more money for these games that they've created. And I think, that might possibly sell in the millions of copies in Japan, at least. If you saw the fervor for Dragon Quest III HD 2D in Japan, it's a point that I think Final Fantasy on the Switch, Final Fantasy VII, both remake and rebirth, I think would bring Square Enix quite a bit of cash. So I'm just hoping for me at least, and I think you guys would probably concur. I don't even care about these ports. Maybe if I want to play one or two of these games on the go, maybe. But I want to see what's coming out from Nintendo and what's coming out exclusively for the system too. So. I'm kind of curious about Pokemon Legends ZA on there, which, it's the next Legends game. So really curious about that. Kind of take it from there. So what's your all opinion about the slate of software for Switch 2, Des?
I think it's ambitious. And I think that it makes sense that Xbox is part of it because, again, Xbox already had somewhat of a Switch type system with the potato.
Yes.
Yeah, so they already have this game's probably optimized for a Switch type system. So it makes sense to me that they would do this 100%. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what it looks like. I will be, like I said, come hell or high water, I'm picking it up like day one. So yeah, that's.
I am too, but I'm not sure of all these games. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be double dipping on like Monster Hunter on the Switch.
Hell no, I'm not going to be double dipping either. That's just not what's up. I'm not going to be doing that. No.
Yeah. Another game that was rumored that is like laughing is Warner Brothers is going to port over Gotham Knights to the Switch.
Why?
Hey, it's in the can that they have the game. I mean, I'd laugh my ass off if Suicide Squad.
No,
I don't know.
That's why I don't think. Like, I don't think people are. I mean, it'd be cool if they are, but I don't think so.
I sell to the children's. You never know.
Nah,
I doubt they would port Suicide Squad, but
hell no. I'd put some extra on that. Hell no. Get out of here with that.
We still got to play that. That's a game night game right there. We didn't even mention that.
No. Sorry, folks. I know we just went on a big thing about like, hey, let's play, let's do this, and blah. No. Do not. We appreciate you. Don't do it.
All right. All right. Any other thoughts about Switch 2 before we move on?
The only thing I can think about is I really want to see what games look like. Like that's just kind of what I really
find out
want.
on April the 2nd because that's
when
the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is going to occur. So
I know, and I'm just really like right there with it. I'm like, I just need to know, folks. Please, just let me know. I just want, like I said, I'm already gonna buy it. I just need to know how sad I'm gonna be when I do. So, so there's that.
That's a good way. That's a good way to say it. I love that. I'm buying it. I just need to know my sadness level.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a sad thing. That's
an honest take.
But it's honest. Like, I am being honest with y'all. It's like, so we'll see. We will see.
I just need this thing to play Bayonetta 3 at a decent frame rate.
Oh,
that's all I need.
Yeah, let me enjoy my Switch library in better fidelity, please. Don't make me emulate and be all evil and criminal. I want to do that. So, all right. Next news story we want to talk about: U.S. physical games spend has halved since 2021. So, box game spend is down more than 85% since its peak in 2008. So this is according to market research firm Circana on here. So players' spending habits have steadily migrated to digital for more than a decade, driven by faster internet speeds, the emergence of online marketplaces on consoles, and live service games funded by transactions. So, and Circana Supply Executive Director Matt Piscatella suggested that the migration towards digital has accelerated since the pandemic. So and they've taken a look at the data basically, and it's now quote unquote 85% below its 2008 peak, and it's been cut more than half on there. So basically, they stated that digital games has been a big driver for this. Also, that the weaker than usual Nintendo Switch release schedule also as well. And then, of course, in Europe, last year, the overall digital share was 68%, up from 60%. Xbox digital share was 75%, while PS5 was 64%, and Nintendo remained at 22% for digital. So more Europeans bought Astrobot as a physical box game on there, but Warhammer 40K Space Marine sales were overwhelmingly digital. So it just depends also too on these companies how many copies they're actually going to press too, because like, you know, Kev, I know you just recently bought Dynasty Warriors Origins and you had to wait a little bit to get your game. I know some other people were complaining online too that they were like, is this like a lower like print run release, or because they were like they were looking for it in stock, you know, like you know you're not going to pre-order and you know, you're going to expect it to be in stock on the shelf on release day. And I think those days, unless the game is like just super the greatest, is long since passed. So
that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
but I think, you know, especially in Europe and the UK, their box retailers have been like basically like kind of closing up, and they don't have a lot of places to purchase games. I know for the US, even walking into like a Target or a Walmart, that the front retail space that they have for such items has been shrinking and shrinking. Target specifically, they got rid of their lock cases at a couple of Targets I went to in the last few weeks, where they basically just pull all their games on the shelf with those like prison cases, those ones that they throw in there. So they don't even have a lock case for the games anymore. So it just shows you, like, you know, I used to be swooping like a damn buzzard at Target looking for clearance, and you know, this because they're not stocking as many games and they're not ordering so many copies anymore, that it's like shopping for games retail has just kind of gone downhill. And then of course, who's your number one U.S. retailer games for physical games? And it's going to be GameStop. And so who wants to shop inside of a GameStop? I mean,
exactly.
You know, it just depends on the scenario and the situation. But you know, I don't think physical games are going to outright disappear, but
they won't.
You know, I think Nintendo's kind of leading the charge, because that's how they keep their basically value. Nintendo is because they never discount their first party games for the most part, and the first party games, like, you know, years later you could go buy Breath of the Wild, and if you wanted to buy it new, are you buying it for $20? No, you're paying like $60 for it still, you know? So I mean, that's what it is for Nintendo. But, you know, there might be another wrinkle in the mix, though, and that wrinkle is going to be possible tariffs coming up. So if you didn't know, most physical games are manufactured in the country of Mexico. So basically, if President Trump comes through and has been threatening to hit a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico starting on February 1st, because, you know, physical games cause illegal immigrants and fentanyl to like cross the border, I guess. So, but
You didn't know that? You didn't know
I
that?
didn't know that. Yeah.
It's bad stuff. Bad juju.
But Matt Piscatella again said, with the 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico on the way, I can see a sharp downtick in the number of disc-based games that get released physically in the U.S. as much as that production infrastructure is in Mexico. So if the disc-based games do get made, the analysts expect increased prices for both physical and digital titles. So I would, if this were to happen, anticipate digital MSRPs to increase to remain at price parity with physical, but who knows? In any case, none of this is good for the physical video game market. So that's what he quote unquote stated. So Nintendo, save us. Don't import your games from Japan, please, not from Mexico. So we'll see what happens with the Switch 2, because, I've heard rumors too. I saw rumors about GTA 6 that Take-Two's thinking about possibly charging $100 like retail for GTA 6. So
yeah, I heard that too, and I'm just like, ugh. That's gonna be rough, dude.
Well, some of these consoles are not dropping in price and going up in price, and so hey, things happen. It's not like, when I was a kid, I was able to buy comics for 40 cents each, what the comics cost now. So the same thing with video games. Video games, back in the 90s, it was like $60, $50, and they're still $60, $70 at the most, So, I mean, it might be just the point that we're just going to have to take it, or we're going to be like posting on Reddit on the patient gamers thread, talking about we're going to wait until it reaches a certain price threshold before diving in. I mean, I could conceivably tell myself never would happen that I would stop buying new games altogether and just dive into my backlog. But
no, that'll never happen.
Yeah, I know.
That just is not that just wouldn't be a good thing to do. Like 100%. Like, well, why would you do that? There's always going to be good games. There's always going to be games that are going to be better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just, even though it sucks, and I really hope that this is not the way it's going to be. It kind of, is for a while. So we just kind of buckle up and be like, okay, well, we're going to have to just suck it up. So
yeah, we'll see. I kind of anticipate myself at least buying more games off Steam, especially smaller indie titles.
Yeah.
I want to kind of go from there. I mean, and obviously I'm not going to purchase anything for the Xbox anymore. I mean, anything Xbox wise is going to be strictly through Game Pass. And once my Game Pass subscription is up, I'll just wait for those titles to reach my platforms of choice. So, and of course, Phil's also emphasizing the parity of platforms, and they want to be where you want to play, basically. So I appreciate that. So. Which talks about
Phil cares.
Phil cares, yes. Well, speaking of Xbox, let's talk about our next topic, and it has to do with the Xbox Developer Direct that just happened this past week. So they did have the first big gaming news event of the year, at least not counting Switch 2, of course, but they showed some games off, and so they basically announced something that they coordinated with Koei Tecmo on, and Microsoft is publishing a sequel to Ninja Gaiden. So Ninja Gaiden 4 got announced. Basically, it's being co-developed by Koei Tecmo's Team Ninja and Bayonetta Studio Platinum Games on here. So, and it looks like it's a new take on the Ninja Gaiden series, at least. Same thing, bloody, fast-paced combat, high stakes, platforming with a new face, the Ninja Yakumo. On there, Yakumo will use his unique fighting styles to defeat the divine dragon order that turned Tokyo into a dystopian, crumbling mess. So I guess there's an appearance from Ryu Hayabusa as well, will make an appearance as a playable character and a rival to Yakumo. So Ninja Gaiden 4 was coming out in fall of 2025 on here. It is coming out for both Xbox and on Xbox Game Pass, and also coming out for PlayStation and Steam. Nothing announced for Nintendo yet, because obviously Switch 2 hasn't been wrapped up. I kind of anticipate maybe this game coming to Switch 2, maybe. It just depends on how they develop the game. So if it's going to run on the Xbox Series S, it'll probably run on the Switch 2. So
probably.
Also, they stealth dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. It's a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2, and it's available day and date on both Xbox and Game Pass. It's also came out for PlayStation and out for Steam. If you want the physical, you have to order from PlayAsia, because It's funny that Microsoft's publishing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and it's a point that the only physical is coming out for PlayStation. So it is what it is. So also, what do you think? Before we move on, Kev, what's your overall feelings of Ninja Gaiden 4 and then Ninja Gaiden Black 2?
I love it.
Well?
Ninja Gaiden.
So,
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden. Gaiden.
Well, it's better than me. Like, you use a pronunciation. Ninja Gaiden. Kids at the damn, the playground saying, I played this game, Legend of Cage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was good.
Yeah.
Or back in the day with Street Fighter 2, it's like, it was like Ryu. It was like Ryu. So
yeah,
it's like,
come on, that was it. Like you had to pronounce it wrong to get your street cred. I get it.
Yeah, I know.
I used to play at festival with a dude that pronounced guile as gully. So
wow.
Yeah. So thanks.
Okay.
I've heard that.
Okay. Yikes.
It's like, hey man, you use a gully? It's like the guy was like, was that a secret character or something?
Is that a secret? No, it's the guy with the hair. Get out of here, sir. Take your quarterback. Get out of here.
Hooked on phonics works for me. But yeah, so I was excited to see Ninja Gaiden return. I'm hyped for it to an extent, and this is my caveat. I mean, gosh, this series has been gone for over a decade, and within that time, the skill-based beat 'em up or the skill-based hack and slash has evolved so much, right? Especially if you took a look at that Phantom Blade Zero, the things that company is doing, my gosh. Although I liked the gameplay that I saw, it still feels like it's stuck 10 years ago. And I don't see much of an evolution in it. I'm hoping, my hope is that this was, because I'm going to get the game regardless, because I mean, this is Ninja Gaiden was like the reason why I love hard action games. It's because I just fell in love with that character and that world and its bloodiness and its gruesomeness and how difficult that game was. It's the reason why I bought an original Xbox. I thought Halo was all right, but when I saw Ninja Gaiden, I was like, I need to get this console. I just hope that Team Ninja has also evolved what's in their repertoire with regards to systems and mechanics, like so many other companies who are building upon the foundation that Team Ninja, and let's be honest, it was Itagaki, that foundation that he laid through the people at Team Ninja for skill-based action games, that all these other games are building upon. All of them. Stellar Blade, what Phantom Blade Zero is doing. What's that other one? Lost Soul Aside. Hell, man, even to a certain extent, some of the later Devil May Cries, they're all building off of the core mechanics of Ninja Gaiden. And I really hope that they can come back and show what they've been working on for the past, 15, 16, 17 years or so. So I really want to see how they've evolved, how they've evolved their game.
Let's hope so.
Right on. Yeah. After watching the trailer, I'm just like, it's something I might dive into it myself. I mean, I got the trilogy I just bought when I went to Japan with Dez on PlayStation, so I'll have to take a look and kind of go from there. But are you going to be buying Ninja Gaiden 2 Black pretty soon, Kev? I wasn't sure if you're going to wait to grabbed the physical or.
I pre-ordered that already. I'll probably go ahead and do the digital.
Oh, you're gonna double dip? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, hell, man, this is the guy that bought the Ninja Gaiden 3 freaking
Collector's edition.
the dumbass edition. I mean, so I'm a sucker for the series, so it is what it is. I just really want to see them kind of reclaim the throne, so to speak. I'm really pulling for them to do so. I just don't know that they can, because so many other companies are just doing such amazing stuff. So I think there's room for all of them, to be honest, because what may work for one player may not work for another, in these different games. So I think there's room for everybody to eat, but uh, I, 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 I got a special, I got a special room in my heart for this series, so I really want to see it do well.
All right, next game that they showed is a further story trailer for South of Midnight. So they announced the release date of April the 8th. This is from Compulsion Games. We've seen this game numerous times on prior Xbox showcases on here. It's the one that's in the Bayou, where you play as a character named Hazel. She uses her powers as a weaver, fighting monsters and traversing the haunted landscapes on here. So Kev, what's your overall opinion? I know that you've been kind of awaiting this game to come out. I mean, I know it's only come out for Xbox and Steam right now. So is it the point that it might be something that you might try to play on your PC, or how are you going to go about maybe just keeping an eye on whether it's going to be ported over to a PlayStation or another platform of your choice, possibly?
So I really like the gameplay. I really like the kind of like the deep dive that they took with this game. I'm feeling the story. I have my own family is from Louisiana, so I feel I really want this game to do well, and it looks like it's going to be a very interesting game. Combat is intriguing enough that I want to. I basically I want to play it. Am I, do I feel that I need to I mean, I don't know if my TV, I know LGs are getting, Game Pass. I may Game Pass it for a month when it comes out, and then if I like it, whether I finish the game or not, I'll go ahead and add it to my permanent library on PlayStation when the inevitable port comes. So I'll play it either way. I'm not sure if my Mini will play this game natively. I don't know if it really has the horsepower to do it. It might. I don't know, but
I'm checking the minimum specs, and right now you have to have at least the AMD RX 580 or a NVIDIA the GeForce GTX 1060. That's the minimum requirement to play. So.
Okay, so I think I think I'm a step or two above that in the Mini. So yeah, it probably could play it. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play it. I like the art style, the kind of like the stop motion frame rate for the cut scenes is a little jarring. I know a lot of people were talking about that looked weird, kind of odd. I understand the style they were trying to go for. I understand the characters kind of have like almost like a wooden stop motion feature to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes well with the bayou, the atmosphere of the bayou itself. Everything kind of, there's a lot of wood out there, and I think the people kind of look similar, kind of like you're looking at a hand carved wooden diorama, and I think that art style is really impressive, and I like the gameplay that I saw. So. I'm very much interested in playing this game, so I'll get a month of Game Pass and check it out and pick up the physical. Hopefully there is a physical. when it comes out on PlayStation at some
All right.
future date.
Yeah, we'll see. Next game that they showed was a release date trailer for Clair Obscure Expedition 33. This is the game that they showed like in the fall Xbox event. That the game kind of looked like a turn-based RPG, basically from a French team. It's coming from Sandfall Interactive. On here, it's led by some former Ubisoft developers, and I think we were pretty impressed with the unveiling of this game last fall. On here, I mean, it kind of looks like almost like a European take on like Final Fantasy with some Persona 5 mixing as far as the combat is concerned. And so I don't know if either of you two are interested in it, but
Yes.
I was interested enough. I have pre-ordered the game. I actually pre-ordered the physical, and GameStop has the exclusive for Steelbook edition. So of course, I had to get on the take on here. So, and from watching the trailer, I just it's something where it's going to be one of the games in 2025 that I'm really looking forward to checking out. So it is going to be out on April 24th on there. It's also on Game Pass too. So just in case if you have access to an Xbox or have a PC that can play Game Pass games, you can be able to play it on there as well. So
yep, I actually sat down and watched the direct with the studio, and the game is awesome. They literally wanted it to be like a JRPG. So they're a French company, smaller individual indie company, who basically looked at old JRPGs and looked at the persona, and they said, how can we make this and add more to it? And I think that's like a really great way to do design, because you look at something that's already and quote unquote like really good, and you say, how can I put a spin on it that adds more to the feeling? And so what they did, which I thought was really clever and really kind of cool, is it is an active RPG, meaning, and it's just a fancier way of saying that there are skill-based mini games during your enemy's attacks. So you know how on Paper Mario you can on some games you hit the X button at the right time and you can mitigate damage. Well, it's like that taken to the nth degree, right? And the cool thing about it is they made it so that people who are really good at mini games, can do it, or they have accessibilities that you could do, people who are not really that good at playing the mini games, so that they're not at a deficit, which I thought was really cool. And I watched the gameplay, and when you're fighting, you have like every move you do has some kind of an extra flourish you can do if you're able to do your timings right. And the same thing is happening with your defenses. You can do more, flurry of defensive maneuvers if your timing is right. And one of the things that they've done, which I thought was really kind of cool as well, is there are 3 different ways that you can build your characters. So there's like your standard progression tree, and then there's like another smaller progression tree that you can do that augments the larger tree, and then there's a third tree or a third area where you can literally put whatever types of bonuses you want. There's like over 300 incremental bonuses that you can add. So imagine you have the skill nodes from like Pillars of Eternity, something like that, but it's a list, and you can look at what you want, and you can add those to your characters to kind of fine tune your characters even more. And it's just really kind of cool, because each playthrough can be different, and you can by doing their ability modifiers, you can change each character's play style. which is really kind of fun. I mean, granted, you'll have a mage, but you can have much more of a glass cannon type mage, or you can have a more battle mage type mage. And I think that's really kind of cool that even you can get as granular as you want, or you can get like as like it's okay, you don't have to. It's just you can get as granular as you want, and I think that's really cool. Also, there is an overmap. You actually walk on an overmap. They said they wanted to like those old 16-bit games like Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, where you had to go over the traverse the map to go to different towns. They have that, and it looks amazing. And you get a character, and there's this character there's this world called they're called jesters, and they're like a different type of creatures, and you have this one big one that becomes your boat. It becomes your ship. It flies, and as you give it more abilities to kind of free it up to go different places along the world map. It looks really cool, and the story itself it's almost like this French version of like Logan's Run. Like the reason why it's Expedition 33 is because this paintress showed up in the world, and she's on this weird looking continent or something, and there's in the horizon you see this giant monolith, and every year she goes down and she writes another number, and everyone on the world that is above that number ceases to exist. They get Thanos snapped out. So, and they send all the people of that next year have to go out and try to stop her. So it's Expedition 33 because all the 33-year-olds have to go now and try to beat her. And I just think it's just a really fun story idea. I don't know. I was really taken aback by everything about this game, and I'm glad that you went ahead and pre-ordered it, because I think that I kind of want to do it too. It sounds amazing, and I know I'm gushing about it right now because it's like we need more games like this. Is all I'm saying. So, sounds great. I love it. Let's go. So, anyway, that's just something that had popped into my head when you were talking about that, and I was just like, yeah, this is amazing. So
good deal. I can't wait for it to come out either. So I mean, I was kind of stoked, but I didn't really dive into the details like you did.
Yeah.
Take a look at it, but okay, that's great. I had to give it up. And the last game that Microsoft showed in this developer direct was Doom: The Dark Ages, and from what I've seen of this game, it doesn't look it's like a new take on Doom to me. It's like they decided, I guess, for whatever reason, that they wanted to do this only as a single player game. There's no multiplayer with Doom: The Dark Ages at all. So, and looks, it's not like, how would you feel if you had to just constantly remake the same game over and over and over? So it's like, between Doom and Doom Eternal, it's like this is their, next take on Doom. And I think at one point you pilot a 30-story Doom guy shaped mech suit, basically. So, and you're able to do that. So, and there's a lot of obviously medieval aspects because it is quote unquote the Dark Ages. So I mean, it kind of cool. Check this out. I mean, I'm curious to see as far as what kind of following this game might have. I don't know if either of you two played like Doom or Doom Eternal, but
I have played Doom like maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
I've played it. Dark Ages looks dope. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think it would really get my attention the way it does. That other one, Expedition 33, looked fantastic too. So I'll probably be getting that one as well. Doom looked dope. That was one of the, aside from Ninja Gaiden, this was like the one that got me the most excited, which took me by surprise because I never, it's not like I didn't like Doom. I was just never a Doom guy,
Yeah, same.
But this looked really dope. So it kind of has me wanting to go back and play like the first two, but since they're saying that This is technically the prequel to the prior to the two, the modern ones rather. I'm thinking I might wait. I don't know if I'm going to play them in order or wait for this one to come out before jumping into the other two, or play them now and then just kind of see how it all tied together with Dark Ages. I mean, I'm speaking like I have all the time in the world to play games, which I do not.
Oh, I wish I did
too. So.
I know both Doom in
we'll
2016 and Doom Eternal, I think, are both on PlayStation Plus Extra. So if you want to play it on your platform of choice, it's there for the taking on there. Maybe Donald J. Trump will give me some additional time for me to be able to play more games. You never know. So I might need to take advantage of PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, possibly. So while I hang out in Desmond's backyard or in his garage. So
yeah, maybe.
There's no more play at Joe's house. It's going to be play at Joe's living space. You might want to get away from Joe. So,
but you know what? This whole developer direct proved in my mind was that all that junk that Phil Spencer was talking about, how people saying that all they had to do was make great games, was 100% lie. Because I haven't been this excited for an Xbox game developer direct or whatever they called it in years prior in a long time. Okay, in a long time. If something like this would have happened, and they would have said, "Hey, everything you've seen," let's say it's still all in Game Pass, but everything you've seen is going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC. Guess what? I could have seen myself going back out and picking up another Series X, even though I had gotten rid of mine, because it's all about the games, and it's all about where you choose to play. I don't give a damn about PC gaming. I'm a console player. So stuff like this is what's going to bring me to your platform. And I know I'm not the only person out there who thinks that way. Where was this fire? Where was this quality 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? All this money that they spent chasing Activision Blizzard and locking down Bethesda. Imagine what they could have done with that money in just going to these developers and saying, "Hey, we want Doom the Dark Ages to be on our platform. Let's make it exclusive. We want to make sure that Ninja Gaiden is only on an Xbox. Let's lock it down." It wouldn't have cost as much money as they'd been spending, and it would have showcased the console. And I know, well, it's also on PC day and date. Okay, fine. It's still, the console is a part of that, right? But in their own developer direct, everything, hey, it's coming out for PlayStation. Everything except for South of Midnight, which, according to what everybody has been theorizing, the only reason it didn't have also coming to PS5 is because they're a small developer and they need more time to complete the port.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't lying, Kev. I mean, I hate to say it, but you ain't lying.
I mean, is what I'm saying making sense? I mean, where were these folks? Where were these games? Where was this focus on Xbox? If it's all about the games, yeah, it is all about the games. Where was this excitement before? And literally this just showed that everything that Phil Spencer talked about when he was on Gamertag and on I'm not talking about his most recent, but prior. I think it was, and kind of funny when he's talking about, oh, woe is us, and poor us, and Sony's blocking us, and we can't compete, and yada yada yada. It's full of shit, full of shit. Because it's all about the games.
Maybe it's a point that because of their multi-platform approach now, they could take a more aggressive turn with some of these titles. Where before, if they were just doing this for Xbox and Xbox only, and maybe Microsoft PC releases, not on Steam, that wouldn't make financial sense for them to do so. Like bringing out a new Ninja Gaiden 4, it's not going to be to where, especially if it was just on Xbox, it would have sold systems in my estimation, but at the same time, maybe the game would never have been greenlit to begin with, because of the fact of getting their cash outlay, and getting making money off of it, so.
That would make sense if the PS3, Xbox 360 generation didn't exist. Because when PlayStation came out with the PS3 and they put it to this chipset that was a pain in the ass to program for, and Xbox 360 stuck with I forget I think it's the same chipset all the consoles run off today, and they were clobbering PlayStation in the West. It was ridiculous. What did Sony do? They buckled down and they started creating games, putting games that were only on their platform, putting games that and locking down titles from other studios and locking it down to their platform. It's the same thing they did with the PS2, same thing they did with the PS1. The disaster that the PlayStation 3 was sales-wise brought it up. So when the PlayStation 4 came out and they ran the same play, it worked. It's the games, man. It is the games. And am I saying that that if Xbox was running that same play, we'd be living in a world where they wouldn't be getting curb stomped? Yeah, I am. I don't think it would be nearly as bad as it is today from a console perspective. I think they would be a serious competitor in the console space, even with day and date on PC. Because it like the way I look at it is like, yo, if PlayStation announces they're going to put all of their games on PC day and date tomorrow, I'm still playing on PC because I cannot stand gaming on a PC as a platform. I don't like it. So to me, that's not an issue. As long as my games are still great, and as long as the games that I'm expecting still come to that platform, that's all I care about. I'm going to be going where the games are. And if you're going to, and if Xbox would have played that and locking games like this to their platform, or locking games like this to PC, bro, they'd be doing a hell of a lot better in the console space than they are now. And a showcase like this, a developer like this, is 110% proof of that, because everybody's talking about this developer direct online. Everybody is glazing this thing, and rightfully so, because I personally didn't see a single game that I didn't want to play.
Yeah, that's big.
Kudos for Microsoft for sure. So, I think all three of us are going to be playing their games. It's just we're going to be playing them on different platforms. So, it is what it is. So,
I'm fine with
it.
All
right. And last news story I want to bring up. What happened? Sony supposedly has canceled more gas games. So they canceled 2 more live service games.
Good.
So Joe.
They had live service games in development at Sony Bend Studios and also at Bluepoint Studios. Bluepoint is, the remaster machine, the company that they bought that brought out like Demon Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. and they had them working on a live service game of some sort. They were working on a God of War live service game, and then also Ben was working on a live service game as well. And basically, they canceled both on here. So what Jason Schreier from Bloomberg reported that after the failure of Concord, it kind of left a little bad taste in Sony's mouth, and so they determined that they needed to take a reanalysis of what they were spending their money on. And
they said, "Slow your roll, sir. Slow your roll."
Yeah, yeah, because
hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah, so I mean,
Gotta
right
get a
now as it
rough boy on it.
stands, Sony doesn't. I mean, I think they have some other gas games coming out. They got Fair Games, the one from Jade Raymond, still being in development, but who knows where that is. That got revealed I think a year and a half ago now. I think so. It's been a hot minute since we saw that one, and that's probably gonna die like Concord did. I don't anticipate that going well either. So I just hope that they pivot to go back to just bringing out first player games, or if they bring out multiplayer games, just have the multiplayer in addition to the single player as well, if it makes sense. I hate to say Sony has kind of won this generation between PlayStation and Xbox, but at the same time, they're not 100% foolproof either.
Oh, no. I don't think anyone is.
Yeah, no one's 100% foolproof, but when your opponent is running it's like stepping on a rake every time, you can do dumb stuff like this and still come out winning. That
is true.
That's why that developer direct proved everything that Phil Spencer said was crap. This is just, I think this is a turnaround of focus, and or maybe not complete focus, but they're like, look, we're, based on what I've heard, they were just kind of going to their first party studios and some of these other studios that they hired to do specific things, and they see all this Fortnite money and they see all this Overwatch money, and I guess now you might as well just say they're seeing all this Marvel's Rivals money that is eating everybody's lunch right now, apparently.
It is.
And they're like, hey, man, can you guys work on something like this? And nobody had any idea how to go about that. Again, I don't see how you see a project like Concord and think that's a good idea. I don't see how someone shoots an idea of a God of War multiplayer game and people think that's a good idea. Some of this stuff, even as someone who's never worked in the corporate world like myself, some of this shit should have been crystal clear from the jump. And I think it's just when people come in and they see the successes being so overwhelming that they think, oh man, we gotta go ahead, we gotta do this. We got to do this, That's like
chasing trends.
You're chasing trends. You're chasing money. That's like, how many college ballers go into college thinking that they're going to be the next Michael Jordan, and how many of them don't even make it to the draft, let alone maybe even make it on the become starters on the college team. It's hard. It looks easy because you're seeing people that have honed that skill and honed that craft, or have taken an already popular license, with the case of NetEase through Marvel, and basically said, we're just going to do everything that Overwatch did right and not F up everything else that they did.
Yeah.
And it makes it look easy. But if you've never done that, and you just say, hey guys, go ahead, and we need some of that money too, because that even if 11 of your 12 projects fail, you just need that one. And we already know that they weren't prepared for it, because we saw how Helldivers 2 turned out. None of them were expecting Helldivers 2 to be the success it turned out to be.
Yep.
I would say just let the developers make the games they want to make and kind of let the chips fall where they may. Obviously.
Yeah, that's an expensive proposition, though.
Yeah, no.
That I really wish that they would do that, and I really believe that they got to get that one hit, and then after that, then maybe we can start seeing a little bit more like fun type of games that you're wanting to talk about. But nah, they gotta get the Marvel rivals before they can do anything else.
I mean, I would prefer if they stopped chasing the big dog of cash cows and make a bunch of smaller, like interesting more games, like a AA type games.
Yeah.
So,
well, what do you think? What is it that Expedition 33 is? There are people out there who really want to do that. Like I was watching the people who made that game, and one of the guys and of course. Let's be real. Let's be real. Like they had funding. Like people, like they were able to sell their idea to someone and raise capital to do that. Like let's be honest. But at the same time, like the guy was like, well, I quit my job and went to work with my friend, and did this. And I'm like, that's actually like amazing that they could do that and then make something that looks pretty kind of cool. But they had capital to do that. I think that's the problem. Is you need a little bit of capital, just a little bit in order to do something super the greatest. And it's weird. Like I'm excited. So part of me is excited for what the plan of Xbox is going to be, but I am not excited for their consoles or anything like that. It's like it's a weird feeling. Like Xbox is just a weird feeling that I have with when I want to play their games or something that's pulling me to play their games, and then they say like oh, we want to completely change their tune, and say and I agree with you, Kev. It was a complete lie. I mean, I think at the time when Xbox was trying to do their thing and they were saying oh, Sony's eating our lunch, we really need this merger and blah blah blah. Part of me wants to say that okay, they're saying this because it looks bad and they want that sympathy. That way people can say okay, we want to help them out to make them more viable as a company. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, you realize, well, that didn't work. What can we do now? And then that's when there says, I mean, it just looks weak. It's like it looks really weak, and then they're kind of saying, we're gonna guise this in the what is it? The guise of player what is it? Player feasibility
engagement
or
feasibility,
player
engagement.
Yeah, we want you can play this anywhere. Xbox is for the people. You can play this anywhere, and it's like, yeah, that's because you tried to get your exclusives. You tried to do all this stuff, but you weren't doing anything. And I really believe that this is just a weak attempt for them to say, hey, we knew that this didn't work. And so now, instead of going for exclusivities, we're going to try to basically show our consumer support by saying we're going to release this on everything, and that's fine, I guess. But it just devalues the Xbox, and I think that's the main thing that really was really sad for me, about this. And then this whole thing about oh, we're always going to make consoles. It's like, yeah, you'll make a console that goes hand in hand with a computer, or a smaller box that you can work with your computer or that can run PC Xbox. It's just it's like they're trying to build this be all end all about it, and I think this is still part of that, and I'm sorry that I screwed this up.
Of gaming.
Yeah, no, but it's still like they're bringing up
the Acme Gaming.
Yeah, well, it's like they're bringing up
Swiss
that
Army.
TV thing. Like, no, they wanted to be everything to everybody, and it's like, no, you can't be. For whatever reason, you tried that, and it didn't work, and yet you are still like a part of that. You still want to believe that you can do that, and you just can't. You can't, and it's just time. And I finally feel like this is the time. This is the time in which Xbox is finally going to admit they shit the bed, and we're going to finally get some good games, and we're finally going to get, there some a good way to do things. I don't know. It's part of me is that's a long-winded way to say like I'm kind of excited for what's coming up for Xbox because they finally said, they finally admitted that like, hey, we ain't got shit. We're gonna go now. Here are some games. And I'm like, part of me's like, that's sad, but okay, now you can free up that capital to actually make things that people want to do and people want to play, So
But it would make sense if they would just get out of the console space completely. And they're just it just makes this whole thing just seem so bizarre. It's like
they can't.
It's like somebody giving you the recipe to the world's greatest, meal and saying, "All right, this is all you need to do," and you still can't do it.
No, they can't. They can't get out of the console space because that's what they're known for, and they really want to be there for whatever reason.
Software. They're known for Office but
Xbox is not, and I think that's the thing. It's like they really want to see like we're Xbox. We still want to be here. We still want to be a part of that conversation, And I think that's why they don't want to leave. They're like we want to be part of the conversation. We want to stay there and be like we're here. And I think that's the problem. They just have to understand that they don't need to be part of the conversation when it comes to
hardware,
when it comes to that stuff. And I think that's what we're going to see in the future. Mark my words. I think that they will still make hardware, but it's going to be some weird ass handheld thing that you can access. It's going to be like a Steam Deck type of situation, I bet dimes to dollars it's going to be a Steam Deck kind of thing, and they're going to try to battle, Valve for Steam because they have a much stronger infrastructure with Microsoft behind their backs, So I think that might be something that they're going to do. And that'd be very interesting to see if they're going to go into the handheld range and try to fight like the ROG Ally and try to fight the Steam Deck and try to fight those places and say like, hey, you can play on our hardware on the go, and here it is, because I think that they're more closer to doing that than actually competing with PlayStation. I think they've lost. Like I really think that it'd be very hard for them to come back because PlayStation is just eating their lunch so consistently. Like it's like literally every time they're in the cafeteria together, like they get slapped in the back of the head by PlayStation and they take their money. So they're going to go sit at the table with Valve, and
well, it's going to be the same thing over there because everybody wants to play on. Like right now, they're looking at Steam OS and how much better it is to play games than it is on Windows.
Again,
so it's
that's the problem. I really believe that Xbox is going to these different things and they're trying to find their niche. I think they're really trying to find a niche that serves them instead of just owning what they do. And I think there's like this crisis of identity with Xbox about who they are. We give you the best graphics and everything. Okay. What about the games? We gave you the best games, but they're for everybody. Okay. Well, we're going to give you this handheld. Okay. Well, there's already someone that does that. It's like, pick a lane, please. For me, pick a lane. It's fine. Just pick a lane.
I mean, okay. I think the Series X in and of itself by itself is like a really good piece of hardware. It's just
no one's saying that it's not. That's the problem. Yeah. Like no one's saying that it's not. It's just you can't play shit on it. And they literally shit the bed with that. We want to do backwards compatibility. And we want to do this and we want to do that. I really believe that they should not have released the potato at all, and they should have went full force into the future. But they were like, no. And for whatever reason, PlayStation bought that food too and did the same thing. I don't know why they did that. Like the whole switching over, and I guess they did it because they were worried that they had so many big catalogs from the back and they didn't have enough games, to justify people buying, and so they were worried that they were going to take the bath on all these new consoles. And some did better than others, but I think it was PlayStation that did the best. Anyway, we can harp on this for forever. It's one of these conversations that's never going to go anywhere, because at the end of the day, we don't know what they're thinking and what they're doing. All we can do is armchair quarterback what they're doing and try to make sense of where they're possibly going. And at this point, when it comes to Xbox, I really don't think they know where they're going. I really don't. And I hope and pray in the future that they decide something. But to their credit, that makes me very happy for them, and I'm very happy. And Phil, Sarah, if you're listening out there, thank you. I know Phil probably is because he's my buddy. Saying Phil, get your parachute right. Get your parachute right, buddy. And thank you for allowing me to play Xbox games on my preferred console. I appreciate that. It saved me a lot of money. So that's what I'm gonna leave it at that.
Are you gonna dip into PC Game Pass or Hails of the Hails though?
I hate PC Game Pass. I hate it. Unless they completely change the interface. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I could not stand it. So unless they change the interface, and I'll definitely try it again when I go to your house and see how it is, because I am not putting that on my computer if I can help it. So yeah.
All right, let's go and round out the news section. I do have a couple of announcements, release dates to kind of cover, so we can end the section. So one thing that caught my eye that I think would catch the eye of Mr. One Show Nuff is Arc System Works has announced Super Technos World, River City and Technos Arcade Classics. It's a 12-game collection of rare Technos Japan titles. It's coming out for PlayStation 5, Switch, and on Steam. It's going to launch on April 24th worldwide for 4,620 yen on there. So for first print copies of the physical edition in Japan will include a soundtrack CD as a bonus. Now, based on the games included in this collection, there's some like kind of rare-ish games from Technos on here. So it includes River City Renegade, Kunio's Dodgeball Time, come on guys, Downtown River City Baseball
awesome.
Story.
That sounds great. Come on guys.
Kunio's Odin, which is a River City falling puzzle game. So if you ever want to play a River City Tetris game, guess what? They got you covered. The Combat Tribes, which came out in arcades, but they're having both the Super Famicom version and also the arcade edition in this. They have a Suguro Quest Plus Dice Enix on here, which is a board game that they brought out in Japan. So, and then also they got Dun Quest, which is a Technos action RPG. So, and then also Super Dodgeball for the Neo Geo, another game called Zane Selena Soldier of Light, which is a Technos Japan shooting game that came out in the arcades back in the 90s. China Gate looks like a belt-scrolling action game on here. So, and then obviously a game called Shadow Force, which is a belt-scrolling ninja title, which came out in the arcade. So it's just lots of slices of games I've never heard of, and it's like, I've enjoyed Techno's stuff before, so it's just kind of really curious as far as checking this out, especially with the SNES dodgeball game. Kind of curious about that, because all these are going to be translated into English and brought out in this collection. So
yeah, I'll be there day one for that. Yeah, that's a day one get. I don't know if
right now
a physical, but
there's a Japanese physical for sure. But right now there is it's on Steam right now, U.S. Steam on here, and it's basically I just add to my wish list. It's coming out on April 23rd. I'm watching the the videos on Steam. It's all in English, but they translated all these games that were originally just released in Japan as a compilation with translations on all of the games. So, including River City Renegade, which sounds to me like man, oh man, oh man. So,
yep,
good times. So, also too, Fatal Fury. Call of the Wolves has an open beta coming up. So that is going to be available from February 20th to February 24th on here. It's going to be available on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and also on Steam. It will not require you to have PlayStation Plus or Game Pass Core subscription. That is the new title for Xbox Live, believe it or not, folks. So from February 20th to 24th, you'll be able to.
What was the new title? Sorry? What was the new title?
Xbox Game Pass Core. So you'd have to have a Game Pass Core subscription.
Who is in these focus groups?
I have no idea. So,
like, man.
Yeah. So as far as the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves beta, there's going to be looks like 8 characters available on here, and you're able to go ahead and do some ranked match, casual match, or room match on here. So gonna give you a kind of little bit of a taste. If maybe me and Des might be able to reenact our Tokyo Game Show, like Battle Royale.
That was fun
at the booth. So
rev your engines.
Indeed. And then last but not least, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, that Japanese-inspired Rune Factory game that me and Des happened to check out at PAX in 2023.
Yeah.
Finally has a release date. So it's coming out on May the 30th. It's coming out for both the Switch and PC on here. So, and I can't wait. I thought that game was pretty damn cool from what I saw and from what I've seen of the footage, at least so far. I'm pretty much going to be there. I'm just hoping that maybe we'll make it out to Switch 2, or if Switch 2 is actually out by May 30th, we'll have to see on there. That might be a Steam Day 1 get possibly for me too. So
looks fun.
Yeah. And that is the Jabroni Gaming News for this episode.
All right. Game nights have been moved. We're going to be moving our game nights to Monday, beginning February the 3rd. It's just going to make it a little bit easier for us in our own individual schedules. We're trying to find that hopefully this day will be a day that we can, better get more hosts available, as well as more of our listeners and members of our Discord available. So that's going to be the new day. The new day and time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, that we set aside to play with members of our growing Discord community. So you might be asking, well, how do I join the Discord? Well, that's easy enough as well. All you do is head on over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X. Or Blue Sky. And you're going to head over to @GamingVessels, GAMINGVESSELS. You click the link in the bio and you're in. And we're not going to ask you to buy any merch. We're not going to ask you to subscribe to any Patreon tier list. We just ask that you be a good person who likes talking about games, and we think you'll find a happy home aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. So special kudos go out to participants in this episode's main event. Thank you, Neon Octo, for the question that you submitted. And it gave us plenty to chew on with regards to upcoming multiplayer games and multiplayer streaming projects that we may have in the near future. So big shout out to you. So with that, we are going to bring episode 270 to a close. We want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt, with us. So, for Des, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Step Daddy. And for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
Purple Bling Bling, y'all.
Forever.
And we'll be back.
Forever.
Next time, episode 271 for your ears. Peace.